Well, as we've been saying, a busy day. In fact, I think we can call it a merger Monday this morning, given the plethora of deals. The biggest of which, though, was actually announced on Saturday. That is the giant pharma deal, $39 billion, or at least that is what it was worth when announced. Given the decline in AstraZeneca's stock price, it may not be quite worth that, but you can see shares of Alexion are up dramatically. Of course, again, I am talking about AstraZeneca and Alexion entering a definitive agreement in which AstraZeneca will be buying Alexion. The consideration there was $60 a share in cash and 2.1243 AstraZeneca American Depositary Shares. And again, we will keep an eye on those because they did appear to be down as much as 6%. No real overlap between these two companies. I'm told, by the way, that they did begin speaking in the summer. Let's call it late summer of this, obviously this year, and that the approach was made by AstraZeneca. And clearly they made a lot of progress. Now, could there be another bidder, some would say, because perhaps the premium not as large as some might have anticipated? Seems unlikely. It doesn't appear that there was a fully competitive process or a competitive process in any real way. But at the same time, Jim, you're talking about AstraZeneca, which has a currency here, which is more highly valued than many of the pharma companies it competes against, and being able to use that in conjunction as well with cash. There's not many companies that could come along and part with $40 billion in cash for what, about a $6 billion revenue company. Obviously has some important therapies in rare disease. The chief one amongst them is the Soliris, this monoclonal antibody that is used in a number of different treatments.
You have to hope that the pipeline, people say, is strong, makes this deal worth it. I also think that there are people who will say, well, AstraZeneca not doing that well in the vaccine business. So it's got a kind of a double negative. I feel that this company has done nothing for years in terms of its stock price.
Which
Alexion.
Well, they had, remember, for a while they were thought to be an M&A candidate. Then they ran into some serious execution issues and there were some other regulatory issues, replace management, which has cleaned everything up. But their own shareholders didn't seem crazy about their acquisitions, or let's call it their capital allocation. I mean, remember how much the stock went down, I think, when they bought that smaller company? What was the name of it? Portola?
That was, and then who was Elliott?
Yeah, and Elliott is a significant owner.
Well, I have to tell you, I think this is a gift for shareholders because the reason why I think it's a gift is because they've been suffering, but also there is a pipeline here, and the pipeline was about to come to fruition. This one drug, David, is not something you buy a company for. I don't understand AstraZeneca. I think a lot of people don't. The stock has been terrible, and then they talked up the vaccine more than anybody. I felt they had been, other than Moderna. And now, what is going? Would you take their vaccine after what's going on? No.
The data that they shared and the way they shared it was a little unsettling, I guess.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, particularly the mistake in the terms of the dosing, and then they went with the half dose, and that was odd.
Yeah.
As for Alexion, again, it is has an expertise in rare disease development and commercialization. They are talking about the fact that they have 11 molecules across more than 20 clinical development programs and a spectrum of different indications. And again, they do have products on the market. This is not a pre-product, $6 billion or so in revenues.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.